What's happening, folks? Gerald here, aka JFro90, coming at you with another reaction, bringing to the channel my personal British invasion that I lived through. One of my favorite groups of all time. This is the Spice Girls, the iconic, the legendary Spice Girls. And we're celebrating Spice World 25. That is about the time I got on board. Well, because the funny thing is, what it takes me back to, it was second and third grade. Everyone that was a kid, I don't know a single kid in my school who wasn't into them in some degree. You either thought they were super hot or you wanted to be them. If you did not like the Spice Girls at the elementary school I went to, and at least were in my grade or near my grade, you weren't cool. that's just that. Good times, and I loved them. I remember the very first time I ever saw them on TV. It was what I now remember to be New Year's Rockin' Eve, one of the New Year's shows, and they performed Wannabe. So, and I want to say that it was like going from 96 to 97. So this is 25 years of me discovering them. I remember life before anyone knew who the Spice Girls were, and then that just never happened again. And for a good 3 years, that was all everyone was talking about in school. So anyway, celebrating Spice World 25, they just released an alternate version of the Spice Up Your Life video. And Spice Up Your Life is actually one of my most favorite Spice Girls songs. It's hard to pin down a number one right now, but childhood me, this was number one. In the movie Spice World, I always thought that the ending performance of this song was better than the actual music video itself. My favorite thing about the movie Spice World was this ending performance. I love that movie, by the way. Really loved it. I think we saw it in movie theaters. I think we did. I was 7 at the time, so it's a little. But I do remember most things I saw at the movie theaters, and I do think I would dare say we saw that more than one time at the movies, actually. So anyway, excited to get to the video. Let's get to the video. Before we do, I need you guys to go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And now, without further ado, this is Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls, the alternate mix. Hang on. This is like a completely different video. Well, it's clearly they use alternate takes and all that, but two, the clarity is so beautiful. I never noticed that Ginger had pink in her hair for this. Oh my god. But this is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. I want people to be doing this with music videos. I love the idea of alternate takes and everything. So I'm low-key kind of blown away by this. So, man.
Space
That was awesome. That was so awesome. And that it takes me back. It takes me back. The only thing well it's an alternate video. So I love the only thing I would say is missing. I really loved what the original really focused on Spice World and the Spice Girls having a dominating takeover like they did. They actually really did. So, what I'm glad that they kept, because in the original video, it had all five of the girls in different scenarios of them taking over. But my favorite was always Mel B being the DJ in the club, scratching. It's funny, our hair kind of matches, but anyway, but and I'm happy to see that part in the video. I remember Mel C was a boxer, Jerry was a politician, and I remember that. In the comments, let me know who was your favorite of the lineup. My favorite has always been Mel B, but it's actually more so a tie, like Mel B and Mel C, because I feel like for the image and for the sound, those two were always my Spice Girls. My man, like you, the other three, I love them all. I love all five of them, but the males, the males were the best to me and made the experience, and it always felt good to Mel B. I can honestly say a lot of what she brought to it was her energy, and then I can't lie, her being the black one and her being the black one but being loud about it. Her She wore even though she wore, extensions, wigs and weaves and all that, but it was natural textured like this, and it wasn't she was so loud and proud of who she was, and I loved that. And I loved, trust me, I went to an all black school too. All the black girls loved that, but then at the same time, everybody, I feel like everybody had their individual favorites for different reasons, but Mel B was always like in their top two for that reason, for the black power part. So for the pride of it all. So anyway, excited to hear your answers in the description below. That you guys don't even know that, to be taken back to 1997, because think of it this way. I just recently did celebrations of the 25th anniversary of Mariah Carey's Butterfly, Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope. I didn't discover those in 97. I discovered those as the pieces of work that they are years later, in my preteens and teenage years. And then I think Butterfly was more so early 20s. I remember Spice World. I remember, I didn't have the album, but I remember friends who did and just gushing over the booklet. I remember I had the books and the it was a real moment of my childhood. The way people I've connected to through my Beatles journey, me catching up to that, what I can relate to with Beatlemania is so strongly what I and my friends and family, cousins alike, what we had with Spice Girls mania at the time. And it's like, and of course, it nowhere compares to, because I will say, like, knowing the Beatles timeline, knowing the Spice Girls timeline, it is so funny to me how fast the Spice Girls, they couldn't hold on, and it couldn't hold on to that momentum for a decade, and the Beatles held on to that momentum for a very long time and got a lot of albums out of it and a lot of music. And in those moments, well, I was 7, so it's like my mind didn't quite comprehend, the artistry levels and all that. But I would have thought that the Spice Girls would have been that kind of group that, hey, just think, we'll have moments like this for years to come. You don't think like that as a kid anyway, but it's just funny to me that by the time 2000 came, it's like they were just not that anymore, and then not that long after, they just weren't a group anymore. And it's been more years that they weren't a group than the few years that they were, and it's sad because they really made good music, and they actually all wrote their music and actually all worked on their blend and their chemistry and all that. And I love that. And I love that in any group. So anyway, excited to hear your thoughts in the comments. Hope you all enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notification. If you'd like to share this on social media, I'd appreciate that. If you'd like to Follow me on social media. That's in the description below. If you would like to tip, donate, sponsor a request, that's also in the description below. Maybe the video will get a heart thing eventually. Not sure about that, but anyway, we'll see. And you can also join my Patreon, become a patron on the Patreon, and on there you're going to get benefits like early access to videos like these and Patreon only videos like these. And then just lastly, thank you very much for even pressing play on this video. It all means a lot. It all goes a long way. And beyond everything else, please take care of yourselves and each other.
I can feel everything that I want. Right with me, babe. If you can feel pain, don't you get what you want. I can leave here with everything that I wanted.